Hey, it's Rich, the Louisiana Hobby Guy. You know, I was fooling around with the We Create 40, doing some tests on it, and I found this file on their website right here. And I said, wow, that's pretty neat. But I don't like the proportions necessarily of this one. It's way too big to hang in your house. And it's a Wi-Fi code. So you have guests that come over and they want to get on your Wi-Fi. Just hang this on your wall. I have two of them in my house on the wall, one in the house and one on the patio. So today what we're going to do is we're going to design this from scratch. It's just so easy to do. If you happen to be new to lasers, you're going to enjoy this tutorial because it's very, very simple, fast, and easy, and anyone can do it in just a couple of minutes. So let's get started in Lightburn and let's design this house QR code. Okay, so we are here in Lightburn and I'm going to take on the left side up here a rectangle, just a primitive shape, and I'm just going to draw it out on the screen, select it. And I think I want this to be in inches. I want the height to be 5. I want the width to be maybe 3, I think. Something like that, because we're going to put the roof over here. If it's 3 inches wide, that should be a good size for the QR code. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to the primitives and grab a polygon. Wrong one, this one here. And I'm just gonna draw this out. Let me hold shift so that it's a perfect polygon. I'm going to select it and come over here on the right side to shape properties, and we're going to change the number of sides to 3, like that. Now that we've got 3 sides for the roof, I'm going to come up here to the top and I'm going to mirror it. So now we have a roof, and I'm going to now take and bring this over here and go ahead and come up to the top and get these both lined up equally. And if you don't see all of these icons up here, by the way, just right click on the white space right here, uncheck where it says arrange, and then right click again and check arrange long. And instead of having a short menu with drop down boxes, you'll have this long menu up top. Okay, so let's get back to this, and bear with me today because I am using a brand new mouse, so it takes a rollerball, takes a little getting used to. Haven't used one in years. I'm going to hold control and click and hold and drag this out to something that looks sort of similar to a roof. There we go. So we've got our roof now. I think I want the corners to be pointed, so I'm just going to drag over these both like that. I'm going to press Control and the letter B to bring up the Boolean assistant, and you'll see that we get something like that if we do it this way. All of the other ones you can get a preview just by passing over it like that, and that's the one that we want, is the union. So I'm going to say OK to that. And now I don't like the proportions here, so I'm just going to shrink this down. And at this point, I think I've got what I'm looking for. So maybe the roof needs to come down a little bit like that. And now I'm just going to grab another rectangle and I'm going to draw it up here somewhere. And select that. Let me zoom in on this a little bit. And I don't want it to be up too high, so I'm just going to use my arrow key and bring it down so it's sort of looks proportionate. And there we go. So now I'm just going to select both of these. I'm going to weld them right here on the left. And now we have what I think looks like a pretty decent. I'm still not sure if I'm happy with the proportions on this. Actually, let's undo that right there and put this off to the side for a moment and come back and look at these proportions one more time. What I'm going to do is offset this. I'm going to offset this inward, and I'm going to offset it as a corner. I'll select the resulting objects and bring this in just a bit. I think something like that looks pretty good. So we're going to say OK to that. And I think now what we'll do is group these. Come up to the top up here and hit group. And now we can duplicate this, Control and the letter D, because it's going to be a second layer on top. So now we have our second layer, and I'm going to take this now and bring it back in over here like that, and I think that looks pretty proportionate. I don't know, what do you guys think? And we'll just go ahead and weld these. I think what I need to do here is ungroup these. So I'm doing this all live, and just select these two outer ones right here like that. So just the outer is selected, and we'll go ahead and weld that. There we go. And now we can group these again. And actually this front part over here needs to get deleted because we need a duplicate of this one. So we're going to hit Control and the letter D. And you know, this is what I do all the time. So it's sort of like trial and error, I guess you would call it. Maybe I want to change these proportions just a little bit more, so I'm going to put it back on top of there. I'm going to select both of them, and I'm just going to drag this up until I'm happy. I think it's going to have to work because I want to try and keep this video short. So that looks pretty good, I think. Just like that. So now I can just click on it once and take that second piece off. And I don't think I have a library for the QR codes, and I don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go online, and I'm just going to Google Wi-Fi symbol. And I think I like this one right here. So I'm just going to copy this and come back into Lightburn, and in here I'm going to paste it, and then I'm going to select it, and I'm going to shrink it way down and trace it. Right click, trace image, and we want to delete the image after the trace, and that all looks pretty good just the way it is. So just going to say OK, and that's perfect. So now I'll shrink this down to about the size that I want, and I think about 1 inch should be good. So actually I'll just come up in here and I'll just change this one. We'll lock it, change it to 1 inch, and that's perfect. So now I'll bring this up here, maybe right about there. So now this one is just going to be on a red path because that's going to get cut, and then this one here I'm going to offset, and we're going to choose outer shapes only right over here. And I think this would be better if I ungrouped it, so that's not going to work for me. So I'm just going to grab this and ungroup it, and now I'm going to grab that one and offset it, outer shapes only, and it doesn't matter inward or outward because we're going to change this to 0 like that. So we're going to say OK, and that automatically selected what I just did. So I'll put that onto the red path. Now this inner part here is of no consequence because it's only the outer one that we really need this on. I'm just going to select that one and put it on a tool path. There's no reason to burn that inner one if it's going to be covered by this top part over here. So now we've got the base here and we've got the top over there. But we'll leave that as a toolpath so that we can see where we can put our graphics here. And I think what I want to do here is put a line in between these two things that I'm going to put in here. So I'm just going to use the rectangle. I'm going to zoom way in, and it's on that line right there. So I'll just I'll click right on that line. Again, here's the new mouse problem. And we'll just bring this down to right about there. That looks good. We'll select that. We'll put that on the blue. And then I'm going to put some text in here, and I sort of like the whole be our guest kind of thing. So I'm going to put that in here. So I'm going to put in here, whoop, that's too big. Let's bring the height down on this. That's good. Click here again. We're going to put, I think I'm going to put ... be our, and then guest. And I'm going to select that. You can also select this one. And I'm going to change the font on this. And I haven't decided on which one yet. I think that one looks good right there. So we're going to do the Alex brush. And I'm going to grab these two and make them a little bigger, like that. Now I need to grab them individually and put this right about there. And then this one here, I want right about here. I'm going to move them down in a moment, but in the meanwhile, I'm going to select both. And I'm going to come up here and I'm going to align these objects on their vertical centers like that. So now the way it's set, I can group them, and I want to align this to this. So with this one selected, I held shift and selected this one, and I'm going to do this one here on their horizontal like that. I want to align this one, hold shift, to this one as well. So we're going to come back up here again, and they look like they were perfectly aligned. And now for this one, I'll just take a guess at where I think it should be. I think right there looks pretty good, and I think maybe that's a little bit too wide. That looks better to me. So now we've got all that done. And all we have to do next is put in the Wi-Fi code. So let's come up to the top over here, and let's go to Tools, and let's go down here to Create QR Code. And you see nothing happened when we did that. This is what sort of stumps a lot of people. So we're just going to click right here, hold, and drag out the size that we want. Just like that. Now we're going to come over here to Wi-Fi, and we're going to put our network name. And I'm going to use Hobby Guy Guest for this because, oops, there's a space in there, because this one is open pretty much to the world. Well, no, it's password protected. You won't see the password. And there we go. So got that all filled out. I'm going to say OK. So now what I need to do is align this QR code to this graphic. So I'll select, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, I'll select that, and I'll hold shift and select this, and then we will align them like that. And you see it was off just a little bit. Now maybe for the top, I might want to do something else. So I guess I'll do Wi-Fi up in the top. So I'm just going to come and select it right here and do Wi-Fi, just like that. Now we'll select that. You can press escape if you want rather than using the mouse. And I'll bring that up like that. I think I like that. That's pretty good. Select this one holding shift. Align it up here. And that looks just perfect. I think we're just about ready to run this job. All I have to do is set speeds and powers. And let's take a look and see what this looks like in fill mode. Okay, so you see now that didn't work because we did an offset earlier. So we have to grab those offsets and delete them. So delete the first one, right, just like that. And now we've got what we're looking for. So be our guest, the Wi-Fi symbol, Wi-Fi up here in the top, and I think we're now ready to run this job. So let's zoom out and get these placed on our material. I'll dock this up in the top left corner like that, and we'll see what just happened there. Okay, I forgot to group them. Okay, so let's go ahead and group this. We'll group it. There we go. And now we can dock this up in the left corner. And I think I want to come just a little bit off the edge on this one. Just like that, looks good. Now we'll take a preview in the preview window and see how this will work. So the reason why I'm previewing up here is because as you can see here, there's this green line is the boundary of our laser. So I've got this docked in the top left corner, and I'm worried about the over scanning. So that looks good. I'll have to check this one more time after I set my power and speed. If I change the speed, which I definitely will, this right now it's set at the Lightburn default, which is 6020. So I'll have to go to my library here, and let's look for, let me close that. Let's just use plywood on this. We set this in millimeters, and we're going to go 3 millimeter. Bring this down just a bit. 30 watt cut. Put this up here and click assign, and we're going to do engrave 30 watt on the blue and click assign. So that's 22,590. So let's see what it looks like now. It didn't go much further out, so that all looks good. So we're still good on this. And I think if I did everything right, we're ready to run this job. Let's make sure the red layer is on the bottom, which it is over here. We've got our speed, we've got our power. This is painted, so I'm gonna reduce the speed for the 3 millimeter down to 550 instead of 610, because this is painted wood. I'll give you a look at it real quick. So there you can see this is painted plywood. So I'm going to turn the laser on now. We'll let it do its little home thing, and I do have to turn on the air extraction, so go ahead and do that. And we'll hit start on the laser.
Shining bright, laser light in the bayou tonight. Rich the Louisiana hobby guy, he's ready for his flight. With his engraver in hand, he's got ideas in his sight. Carving dreams and making art, he's gonna do it right. From the swamp to the city streets, he's leaving his mark so neat. Every design, every line, he knows just how to complete. He's unleashing his creativity, setting all his ideas free. Laser beams and burning dreams, it's a sight you gotta see. He's the laser engraver connoisseur, making magic like never before. Carving through the night, creating wonders galore. With a sparkle in his eye, he brings dreams to life. Rich the Louisiana hobby guy, carving through the strife.
Okay, and it looks like I didn't have to lower the speed. I've got an arrow. I don't think I'm liking the way this came out, but let's take a look anyway. Oh, I think it's the right size for sure. Let me turn on my close-up camera. And here are the two pieces, and I definitely cut that too hot. See if that won't focus on that. Yeah, there you go. See, that's black. But take a look at the front, and I think that came out really great. The question is, does it work because of this colored wood? So I'm going to give it a try. And I know I blocked out that code. I don't know why. It's it's a network that anybody can use when they come here. So, and it is having a little trouble seeing that code. So it's not black enough, I guess. I'm gonna say that this is a fail on this type of wood. So yeah, this won't work on this type of wood. But I do like the way the colored wood is. I wish that it would work. But I guess if I change my settings and slowed down the scanning, it wouldn't be so white. I'll do another one now, and on a different piece of material. Maybe I'll do some painted wood. Okay, so I had to use some white wood instead, and what I did was I went back and edited the file a little bit because I wasn't happy with the sharp points. Let me switch over to the close-up cam. So you can see here that I went with white wood. I don't know why that's not focusing. There we go. And I wasn't happy with the pointy things over here on this one. So let me show you how this came out. This is just regular painted wood, and all I did was dust it off and pull it off the laser, and there you go. So how does that look? I think that came out fantastic. So now is the test. I can tell by looking at this, that's a nice clean burn that it's going to scan that code, no problem. And if you take a look here, you can see Wi-Fi hobby guy guest. So perfect. I had me in the picture too at the same time. That's interesting. So there you go. A little bit of editing. Really, all I did was put a little bevel on the corners. That's all I did was bevel the corners and reran the job. So you can see that they're the same exact size, only with bevel corners. And I think this one came out really, really great. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. So that's it for this video. I'm sorry this one went a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I wanted to give this wood a try, and I sort of knew that it wasn't the right color. You know, it's not black, so I needed to go deeper on the engraving on this one. It probably would have worked, but I'm really happy with the way this one turned out. There's no doubt that is a nice little project for just a couple minutes. So, and it always takes me longer to do these videos because I'm telling you step by step what I'm doing. but I do them live, so you get to see all the mistakes that I make all the way through. I know that bothers some people, but I'd rather if you see them and not make the same mistakes yourself. So here's another thing too. So here's the one that I did, and this is the one that came in the We Create software. So in their software they had this one. Doesn't, I didn't think it looked good, so I created my own. Anyway, this video has gone long enough. I hope you enjoyed this video today as much as I enjoyed making it for you. And as always, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Down in the bayou, where the gators roam, lived a hobby guy by the name of Rich alone. He had a laser engraver like no one else could boast, birded patterns on wood from the southern coast. Rich was a Louisiana man.